1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make me chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make me chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make me chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make me chant down Vatican now.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? This is your boy, Jermaine Event. That is what I'm gonna. It's like the working theme song, I guess. I don't want to have like a long ass theme song. I don't even know if I want a theme song. We'll see how I feel about it. Let's just keep it on there. Let's keep it on there for now. I just whipped that together, and let's just see how I feel about it going forward. But for now, that's the theme song. It's a new theme song for the Babylon 5 podcast, debut in episode 88, Mr. Ouch. Let's all send good vibes to MMA fighter, UFC fighter, Chris Weidman, former middleweight champion, who in the rematch, he defeated Anderson Silva, and in the rematch, famously, Anderson Silva threw a leg kick, he checked it, and Anderson Silva broke his leg. And that's how that fight ended. And ironically, coincidentally, Chris Weidman walks in there against Uriah Hall, who when he came into the UFC was billed as the next Anderson Silva. He was supposed to be the new flashy black dude, tall, skinny black dude, whooping everybody's ass. That's who Uriah Hall was. He was billed as the new Anderson Silva. And unfortunately, Chris Weidman goes in there and he throws a leg kick and he breaks his leg in the exact way that happened against him years prior when he fought Anderson Silva. So this episode is Mr. Ouch. Let's all send good vibes to Chris Weidman and his family. Episode 88, as I said, hopefully. And I'm going to give you guys social medias. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name is Jermaine. You can email this podcast at babylon5podcast.com. At gmail.com. You can follow this podcast at babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. I don't know why I was like, wait, is there one more? There's not one more. That's what I have in the list. If you guys are on Xbox, go ahead and add a brother. My gamer tag is SauceTheBoss414. If you're on Twitch, go ahead and add me at twitch.tv/Babylon5. You guys can check out the merchandise. Go to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. Go ahead and don't just be my Negroes, be my patrons. Be my patrons. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. You know what I'm saying? To support the podcast. Got plenty of different tiers. You guys get this episode right away, right as it's done. It's uploaded to Patreon for your listening pleasures. You guys, there's exclusives up there. Go get your shit. And as I said, once we hit 50, you niggas is getting. I digress. The vlogs. We get some vlogs back in there. Hopefully. Well, but you niggas be some patrons, niggas. We upgrade this whole setup. That's how this works. But if you niggas is on TikTok, lastly, if you niggas is on TikTok, follow a brother at Babylon5 Podcast. That's the new theme song, ladies and gentlemen. That's the new theme song. niggas been making beats, doing 5 beats a day for 3 summers. Not for 3 summers. That'd be a different world like Cree summers. Ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, let's cue it up. I got it queued up today. I got it queued up. All right, so we queuing the special effects. Like cue the smoke machines and the simulated rain. That's what I was trying to say there. But oh yeah, we got sound effects, ladies and gentlemen. I got my tag in there. I don't know, man. I don't like throwing the tag on there when I be putting the beats. It's like, you should, because otherwise niggas just gonna steal your shit, apparently. But it's like, man, there's so many sounds out there, is how I feel. That's how I honestly feel. There's so many sounds out there. So, like, hopefully nobody just steals my shit. Like, give me credit, at least, if you do. But it's just like, how much do I throw that on something? How much? How much of my tag? I usually just do that. And I'm just saying, like, how much throughout the beat should I put on there? Because it annoys me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I understand it all. The beats that I have on Airbit, they throw in them auto tags, which I like that. Like, I'd rather have that, like, which is related to the website that it's on, rather than me throwing a bunch of random tags on there. So if you guys find my beats, Jermaine event on Airbit, it'll have like those auto tags on there, and you can purchase the beats. But your boy's been making all these beats. I was like, I gotta make some kind of theme at some point, and I came across that Sean Don Babylon, and I was like, yup, that's what we're doing. We're doing that right there. That's going in there, all right? I don't know what we got to do, but that's going in there, all right, right now. That's where that's going. And it's there for you and me. We all have it, okay? We have it. It's here for us, for our listening pleasures until I say stop. We had so the episode 88, I'm calling it Mr. Ouch, and the name, it's in reference to Chris Weidman, but the name Mr. Ouch, I don't even know if it's still out there. If you're just in the city, or just probably anywhere, I don't know. I live in the city, so I'm just gonna say if you're in the city, I grew up in the city, There's like, those green boxes of electrical shit in there. That's as far as I've ever looked into what's in those boxes, like green boxes of electrical shit. And it'll have like a cartoon of a guy made of electricity, a body completely of electricity, but it has a face, and it said Mr. Ouch, and it had like I think like the Ghostbuster symbol thing with the the crossed out with the Mr. Ouch, and it was like a cartoon to tell young children not to touch it or something like that. Like, I guess it was like a good idea at the time that cartoons would keep children away from this area, because children, like, they can't stand cartoons. Like, honestly, I've spoken to children, like the new, have you guys spoken to these children? These children at this point, like, they feel like you're patronizing them with cartoons. Like, they're smarter than that. And we're just giving them cartoons because we don't see them as a person. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they're not, like, that Mr. Ouch, it was a good idea, because at my level of intellect as a child, I was like, Mr. Ouch, fuck that cartoon. That's what I as a child, I was like, fuck that cartoon. I'm not going over there. How dare you put a cartoon of body of electricity fucking possibly murdering me if I go near this green box of electrical shit? What is in them boxes? What is in them boxes? I don't even know what's in them boxes. I'm about to Google Mr. Ouch. Yeah, there it is. Ouch is a hazard symbol developed by the National Electrical Manufacturer Association to represent electrical hazards. Unlike other high voltage warning symbols, Mr. Ouch was specifically designed with young children in mind. Yeah, I thought so. See, I didn't want to speak on this part. I was like, wasn't there a little boy in it? There's a picture of a boy being shocked by the body of energy with an angry face. That's what the image is. I mean, I guess that would keep me away. That's pretty descriptive. They put a child, the image of a child with an angry body face of electricity shocking this little boy, and it looks pretty fucking scary. I guess that was a pretty good idea. I don't know, but I remembered it. I know it stuck with me. Fucking Mr. Ouch, and we're having this conversation today. But that, yeah, I think, like, as I got older, I think they, like, took it away. I think they took the boy that it murders off of the thing. I think it's just Mr. Ouch. But, yeah, when I was a kid, Mr. Ouch was killing that little boy. So it was just like, don't touch this box of electrical shit, because Mr. Ouch is in there. Is how I was told, you ladies and gentlemen. That's how I was taught. Don't go in there. Mr. Ouch gonna come out. That's how a nigga was taught. So UFC this weekend, UFC 261, man. Jeez, great fucking pay-per-view. It was return of fans, and it definitely brought a different energy that we haven't gotten with these empty fights. There was definitely an energy that I didn't know we were missing. There's definitely a lot of aspects I wasn't into. But there's a lot of good fights, man. And as I was saying, like, main card, first fight of the main card, I'm just going to jump back to that, was Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Kroot, which ended with Anthony Smith hit Jimmy Kroot with a nasty, heavy leg kick right on the knee, and it just like shut Jimmy Kroot's knee off. He couldn't stand on it. He just kept giving out on him as he was trying to put weight on it. So the doctor calls the fight off, and like in the very next fight, Chris Weidman throws a leg kick. Who had been training with Anthony Smith and was in the best shape of his career. I've never seen him look like this before. He's super slim. Like, he looked like he's like, and Anthony Smith was saying how like he's never trained with a person that good in his entire life. Like, he was like, he's the best fighter he's ever seen. Like, after training with Chris Weidman. And very first strike thrown of the fight, Chris Weidman throws and breaks his leg. Loses by TKO. He broke his leg. You know, you don't know. Apparently, you don't feel it. And he stepped back and put weight on it, and he stepped on it, and that was all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. It's horrific. Horrific. You know. As I said, nothing but good vibes to his whole family, man. They said apparently he had a successful surgery about maybe 5 hours ago, and he's in recovery. So, you know, the worst thing that possibly could happen was he lost the leg, you know. So it's a scary thing to watch, but a lot of people, even Valentina Shevchenko was saying how that technique, like, yeah, it's very effective, but it's dangerous for you and your opponent. It's just way too easy to just, like, get shin on shin, and that's an easy break. But she said, like, when you throw shin on knee, that's, like, another one where it easily breaks. So she's like, it's just a dangerous technique for everybody. Man, but it's like, honestly, I mean, it's the most effective we see when you can successfully do it. That's what brought down Conor McGregor. That's what brought down so many motherfuckers. I felt like Justin Gaethje, man, one or two good leg kicks in on Khabib, one more or two good leg kicks, and Khabib can't stand anymore in that fight, guaranteed. Guaranteed he would have no longer been able to stand. He was tearing that leg up. Tearing that leg up. Speaking of tearing that up, in the fucking, in the very first championship fight, there's 3 title fights. Valentina Shevchenko successfully defended her championship against Jessica Andrade just by absolute domination. She was really, she was all over Jessica in the stand-up. I feel like Jessica in the second round landed one good punch in the exchange that kind of like after she hit Shevchenko, I saw Shevchenko like shake her head like, what the fuck? And then like immediately get into a body lock and take her down. But she got about 7 takedowns. She was just manhandling Jessica Andrade, just all over her and just beating her up until the second round and got her in the crucifix as she does so easily, so often. Gets her opponent on the ground, isolates both her arms, and then proceeds to just rain down fucking sharp elbows. She's cutting her up. She's bleeding all over the place because of these elbows. Herb Dean has no choice but to stop it. I've seen people talk about how, like, to get into, just to stay in the crucifix position is just hard enough because you have to, like, distribute your weight in such a way to stay so flat. Because, yeah, if you're too much on one side, the person is going to be able to get their arm out. But then, like, to be able to stay in that crucifix position and still rain down effective strikes where you're just cutting up the opponent, it's just, like, just levels people have never seen before. Valentina Shevchenko, as I've said, is the best fighter alive, all right? She's the GOAT. There's nobody more talented, more skilled than Valentina Shevchenko. She's walked through Jessica Andrade. I thought this was going to be a tough challenge. Everybody watching this fight thought, hey, Shevchenko's going to win, but this is going to be a pretty tough fight for her. No, it wasn't at all. Jessica had nothing. She kept saying, like, she said, like, closer to the fight, she was like, when they did that press conference a few days before the fight, she was like, Jessica has nothing for me. And she was saying, like, after the fight, like, people were saying, oh, she has this power, she's so strong, she can just pick me up and do this. And she's like, yeah, they're saying that, and I just let them say it so that it sounds like a good fight. But the whole time, I'm just like, she has nothing for me. And she just went out there and walked through former champion Jessica Andrade. She just walked through it like it was nothing. She's the best. She's the best. And as I was saying, like, the one thing that, like, the audience adds energy, like, from the start of this whole from the prelims, the first fight of the night, the first fighter that was coming out, I don't even remember her name, but the second her music plays, the crowd, and she walks out there, the crowd goes nuts. From the first fight on, that crowd was rowdy. It was pretty packed, more packed than it's ever been for any UFC event. It's never been that packed that early. I've never seen anything like that, and they were rowdy, cheering for everybody, and that's what I liked early on. I feel like the people who were there early on would have been people who are just like me, who actually care about these fights, and I would have been cheering on both fighters. I would have been like, yeah, we're ready. I'm here to see fights. But by the time the night goes on, and you get to fucking the first title fight, the first of 3 title fights, and you're on the main card, Jake Paul is sitting in the front row. You got fucking Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady. There's so many fucking celebrities there. At one point, I could have sworn I saw Joe fucking Biden. I could have sworn that was Joe Biden there. But, man, I feel like if he was there, they probably would have highlighted it a little more. I was like, who is that tall, like... Oh, that was probably Joe Schilling. Or not, whoever the fucking USADA guy is. He's just like a skinny white dude, white hair, with the mask on, pretty in the front, like kind of like isolated from everybody. I was like, is that Joe Biden over there? It was a packed house full of celebrities. But Jake Paul was there. So pretty much once Jake Paul got there, the whole crowd, no matter who's fighting, no matter how great of a fight it is, they're chanting "fuck Jake Paul." I thought at one point the ref stopped the fighters for a low blow, and then this chant broke out, and I thought they were chanting "bullshit call," but they were actually all just chanting "fuck Jake Paul," and it's like, y'all know there's a fight going on, man. There's a fight going on. And then there's another aspect, with Jimmy Kroot is Australian or some shit, New Zealand, whatever that is, whatever you would call it, wherever. He's from one of those countries. He's got that accent. What I'm saying is, I hate the bullshit. And it was amplified because it was a sold-out event. It was just rowdy in there. I've never seen it like that. It's amplified. But when I go to UFC events, and once you get to the later parts, any fighter who's not from here, they're chanting USA, they're booing them, no matter who you are. So they're booing Jimmy Kroot, chanting USA. Jimmy Kroot is I don't know, man. It's just are you fans of MMA, or what are you here for? What are you here for? You're booing Jimmy Kroot right now? I don't know, man. And then they were booing Kamaru Usman before and after his fight. They're booing anybody who... They booed Zhang Weili got such positive reactions every time she fought here that even in the press conferences and whatnot, they were cheering her. But by the time she came out to the show, when I went and saw Kobe and Usman, it was MAGA hats everywhere in this section. I was like, where the fuck? But now that I thought about it, those were the $3,000 ticket seats, and it was MAGA hats in that whole section. And once they got there, it was all the USA chants and the fucking just nonsense, the rowdiness. But it was just from that section. It was amplified. All that shit was amplified. The booing of foreigners and the USA and all this shit. It's pretty weird. I remember at the Kobe Usman card, there was one time where there was two fighters. Neither one of them were American, but one of them looked white. And they were doing one of them looked white, one of them didn't. And they were doing the USA chants. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here? Are you just saying fuck both fighters? But it's just what are you here for? What are you actually here for? And that's how I felt there. You got Valentina Shevchenko dominating. You guys are chanting, fuck Jake Paul. You guys are booing foreigners. You didn't boo Valentina, but I think they booed Jessica Andrade. And she's like, why? She's dope. Why are you booing Andrade? She's actually pretty dope. Why are you booing Zhang Weili? She's pretty cool. She's been pretty cool this whole time. Whole time, you couldn't have fans. Everybody loves Zhang. She had one of the best female fights ever. And y'all booed the shit out of her just because she's a foreigner. Just because Rose Namajunas went on her racist rants. Now let's get into this next fight. We got Zhang Weili defending her belt against Rose Namajunas. And unfortunately, niggas was saying Namajunas. I heard Chael say Namajunas, and I was like, why is he saying it like that? And then later on, Dana White was like Namajunas. Is that how it's supposed to be said? They were like both deliberately saying Namajunas. But in the very first round, man, she fucking knocks Zhang out with a fucking head kick. She was doing that shit, hitting her with these feints, and by feints, she's not touching her. She's just like, flinching, making it look like, oh, she's going to throw this over here and not doing it. Just trying to get these reactions. Just, if I go over here, what does she do? If I go over here? And she just kept doing that. Then she's sliding in, sliding out. And, like, Zhang just, like, was just, like, frozen, didn't really know what to do. And, yeah, she fucking fainted that she was gonna throw a low kick. Zhang slid her legs back, leaned forward to dodge the leg kick, but she was throwing a head kick and got fucking leaned into the fucking perfect head kick, the second strike that Rose throws of the whole fight, and knocks her out. Knocks her out cold. Wasn't even a competition. Rose is the new champion. Fucking, you got Joe Rogan in there fucking just all on her dick, bruh. Just get off her dick, bruh. I'm sure you guys, if you haven't, maybe go to YouTube and search Joe Rogan, Rose Namajunas, and watch this nigga just gush over Rose Namajunas. And he was doing it again when the show started. And then after the fight, Rose Namajunas is crying. And Joe starts crying with her. Fucking Joe Rogan starts crying with Rose Namajunas. I'm sitting here like, yo, this is pretty dramatic. And she's like in the microphone like, And I was like, that's dramatic, because like the second the microphone went away, I was like, I guarantee there's no more hoods, and there were no more hoods, because she only needed to let those hoods out into the microphone. I was like, yo, this is too dramatic right now. And Joe Rogan, like, get off her fucking dick, bro. Why are you crying? Why are you crying in the octagon with Rose Namajunas? Like, are you fucking crazy? I don't know. She just seems very ingenuine to me. She addressed her pretty much racist comments, and she was like, "Yo, I never meant to like make it seem personal or anything. I was just talking about something that I went through, and it got twisted. I'd never meant for it to be that way." Like, bullshit. And everybody's like, "Oh, she's so great. She's just such a good person." I saw somebody post a picture of her where she it was like after the fight, and she like jumped in the air, but the picture was taken where it looks like she's levitating, and people were like, "This picture's amazing." And it's like, have you never seen someone jump in the air, motherfucker? Have you never seen someone jump in the air? All right, it's not amazing. It's not an amazing photo. Just because you're on her fucking dick, it's not an amazing photo. Have you never seen someone jump before? I just think she's pretty ingenuine as she says this. Like, I never meant to make it personal. You never meant to make it personal. You said these racist comments. You got backlash. People were like, yo, that's racist. And then you did another interview a few days later and was like, no, I stand by what I said. Like, better red than dead is what she was saying. She was like, nah, I stand by it. And, okay, and then you come in here, right? You win your fight, and you're like, I never meant for it to be that way. That wasn't my intention. And it's like, but I watched him bet it. And you were like, just a few days ago, joking about this, saying, I always get petty a few days before the fights. Don't come at me with this, oh, I never meant for it to be taken this way, when just a few days ago on the UFC's program leading up to this fight, you were joking about the whole scenario, saying I always get petty before the fight. So, Nah, it's just not genuine. When you got Joe Rogan in there fucking crying with her, man. Bro. Chill out, bro. That shit's gross. It's like, I feel like when Rose is in there fucking saying this weird shit about Zhang, it's like, from my perspective, let's say, like, we hear these stories about China and how they possibly, I heard that they would, like, take children and, like, force them to, like, train these sports to become, like, trained to become Olympic athletes and all this shit like that. So when I see Zhang, I don't know the story behind Zhang. I don't know if this was 100% her choice to live this life, but I feel like Rose is like, I'm fighting against communism, and she represents communism. And it's like, dude, she was born there, so like, it's just like, with the stories that I've heard, there was the guy who spoke out against the Chinese government. He was like the richest person in China or alive, I think in the world. He spoke out against the Chinese government, said they were lying about COVID numbers, and he disappeared for months. All right? Just disappeared. Okay? I don't think if, like, Zhang felt like, oh, my family and friends are being oppressed, I'd rather that they lived under a different kind of government. I don't think she'd be able to say that as who she is and live comfortably. So I just don't think it's fair to even throw that out there. To even have them people out there, and racists out there booing Zhang, a great fighter, chanting USA at her. I'm saying, like, this is not just a one-time thing. This is what these people at these events be doing, but, like, shit, man. It just all seems weird that you were so behind it even a few days ago, and now you're crying in the octagon talking about them. Oh, I never meant for it to get this way. I was just talking about this. And it's like, nah, you were just joking about it a couple days ago on Embedded. Like, I watched that shit. I saw it. I synced it. So, it's just fake to me. They're saying they're probably going to run it back pretty soon. I mean, why not? But, I don't know, man. I don't like what I saw in that very short fight. As far as chances of Zhang beating Rose Namajunas or even putting up a better fight. She doesn't really move her head, and Rose is a sniper and super strong. My hatred toward who she is as a person has nothing to do. I have nothing against who she is as a fighter. She's fucking phenomenal. The way it's like art, all right? It's like art when you watch her fight. The way she moves, or it's like I don't know, man. It's like someone's playing the violin or some shit. The way like she zips in and out real fast. Like, buff, she's over here, cracks you with something crazy, and now she's out of here. You trying to fucking counter, but she's gone. She's gone. All right, she's over there already. Zip zip. She's in and out. She's out of there. She's fucking in, snipes, and then she's the fuck out of there. She's playing fucking Yo-Yo Ma. Playing the fucking violin, my nigga, is what it looks like in there. So she's a beast. So I don't see anything that Zhang could really do at current times. I don't see the reason why they would run it back so quickly. Like, I'm not saying she can't work, like, improve. She's she's like 31 or 33 or some shit like that. She's in her 30s, but she could definitely make some adjustments in her stand-up. Move her head. Jessica Andrade made some adjustments in the second fight, moved her head, and did a lot better against Rose Namajunas. And so she could do something if she does. But I don't know, man. We saw them Chinese fighters, they all train at the same place, and none of them had head movement. They all were just getting pieced up in the stand-up with just, like, straight punches. They just would never... It seemed to be the problem. Out of every fighter in that camp, they just refused to move their head, and they just took every fucking punch head on and just tried to keep walking forward. Unsuccessfully. Every single Chinese fighter lost. Dana Batgriel is Mongolian, my nigga, and he won. Alright? He's Mongolian. He won his fight. But every Chinese fighter that fought out of the same camp, they all lost in the stand-up. And they were all, like, touted as, like, amazing prospects. Like, this guy's super powerful. He's got great stand-up. And then right away it was like, yo, they're getting beat up. He's getting beat up. Oh, shit, she's getting beat. Oh, TKO. Uh-oh. This person just got knocked down again. About to get knocked out. Like, they were just getting beat the fuck up. All in the same camp. And Zhang went out there and got beat up faster than anybody else out of her gym. But she was also fighting the best fighter out of anybody in her gym. So it is what it is. It is what it is. You had Kamaru Usman. Thank you. Thank you, Kamaru. Thank you, Kamaru. Let's give him let's do a round of applause for Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare who had his rematch. He called out Jorge Masvidal, and it was Jorge who said he just didn't believe that. He said what he said was that Kamaru Usman hits softer than anyone he's ever fought. And he said it's just unfortunate that God didn't bless Kamaru Usman with that manliness to hurt another person with just his bare hands. This is what Jorge Masvidal said in the lead up to this fight. I'm so glad Street Judas said all this. First off, Masvidal, in my book, disrespected DMX. He walked out to DMX and fuck Jorge Masvidal. So, in my book, on my scorecard, he already had a negative point coming in. So, like, if we start at 10-10 and then we see what happens in the round, no, you're starting at, he's gonna be at a 10, you're gonna be at an 8 to come in here, nigga, impress me. Alright? That's where we were at. Alright? You had already lost the point just by disrespecting the spirit of DMX with your MAGA ass. Y'all know fucking Jorge is a MAGA guy. He, like, this is the second MAGA guy that Usman fought, you know. You guys think Colby is just the only MAGA guy, but now Jorge's a super MAGA guy. And there was that whole controversy with I think the owner of the Goya, I think there was a problem with their, like, unions, and people were, like, getting hurt and shit like that, and Donald Trump was backing the president of Goya, and just because Donald Trump was backing the president of Goya, like, Jorge Masvidal, being the type of person he was, started to publicly speak out and defend the president of Goya, and, like, speak out and lash out publicly against people who were expressing, like, negative opinions, maybe people who work there. And he was like, he's just saying, like, fake news going on there. This is Jorge Masvidal, immigrant son, diehard Trump supporter. And he disrespected DMX by walking out with his music, and that's a negative. You get a negative point. You lose a point to me automatically. And it's just, so we get into the first round, man. It's pretty even on the feet, but honestly, Usman was hurting. He was landing heavy shots. He was landing heavy punches. on Jorge Masvidal. And at one point, Usman gets a takedown, but Masvidal was able to get up. He was landing Masvidal was landing pretty heavy elbows from bottom. In the clinch as he was trying to get up, he was landing what looked like some pretty hard elbows on Usman. I was like, oh shit, I didn't like what I was seeing there. And he was just taking all them elbows, and it's like, ooh, that's probably one too many hard elbow there. Might want to get out of there. But he stayed in there and kept working his game. And second round, and I took a note on this, before the second round. You got Usman who's just sitting there calm. Then the camera cuts over to Masvidal, and he's sitting in his chair, mouth wide open, breathing hard. All right. We had all that talk of if I have a full camp, everything will be different. If I have a full camp, everything will be different. 1 round in, mouth wide open, he's breathing hard. All right, he's already exhausted after 1 round in there with Kamaru Usman. And then right away. Well, I think there was some exchanges. And I think at the end of the first round is there were some striking exchanges at the end of the first round where Usman would land some straight punches, but then throw a wild, winging, looping shot and miss really badly. And then in the corner, Trevor Weidman was like, yo, man, just stick to the basics. Don't go for anything crazy straight. Go for the straight shots. So, right away, he goes in there in the second round, hits him with a hook cross, and picture perfect, just knocks Jorge Masvidal the fuck out. It looked like it was raining in there. It looked like it was raining. When the impact of that punch, dude, it was fucking crazy. Sweat or something flew all over the place off of his head from this punch. It was like some shit from a movie, my nigga. The impact knocked Jorge Masvidal. He wasn't blessed with the manliness to hurt another man. Just got knocked the fuck out. Street Judas just got baptized by Kamaru Usman. And I loved every fucking second of it. I don't fuck with Masvidal. So I was pretty elated. It's pretty dope to see you had Usman in there with his father. He put the belt around his father. Had his daughter in there, his mom, some woman, possibly the mother of his child. I don't believe they're together, but it was pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool to see. Jorge got knocked out in the exact same way that Masvidal knocked out Darren Till. It was the same. He grabbed the hand, pulled it in, and then went for the cross. It was the exact same combination. Conor McGregor, on the other hand, feels like Usman is stealing his phrases. Usman was talking about a green panty night. As we know, Conor McGregor is famously known for the red panty night. And after he knocked out Jorge Masvidal, he's posting the combination. He's stealing my phrases. Now he's stealing my strikes. Or he's stealing my shots, and he's showing the comparison. He posts the videos of him striking with Poirier. And he's saying that after he takes the belt at 155, he's moving up to take the belt at 170, saying he's got to fight Usman at some point. It's the second time he's called out Usman. This is the second time he's called out Usman. I don't know, man. There's quite a size difference there. There was quite a size difference between Well, honestly, it didn't seem like too much of a size difference between Usman and Masvidal. I honestly thought, like, Usman is more muscular, but I actually thought Jorge looked a lot bigger than him. Like, he was just a bigger person. He just looked bigger. But definitely, like, you know, Usman is more muscular. He looks like fucking Bobby Lashley, man. He's like the real Bobby Lashley. And he just knocked that man the fuck out. Conor wants to fight him, and I don't think that fight would go too well. I don't think that fight would go too well at all for Conor McGregor. I think that'd be a first round knockout. Maybe, I don't know, or TKO or something, because I think Usman would just take him down right away. And once Usman, with how big he is, how much bigger he is than Conor, if he takes fucking Conor down, that man is a better wrestler. He's probably the best wrestler. He's easily the best wrestler in the division. It's like him and Colby. All right? If he takes Conor down, it won't be pretty what happens. All right? It's gonna just end right there on the ground, man. And I don't really see. I don't see any way that Conor stops. Like, the fight starts, Conor just runs to the middle as he does. Usman shoots that double leg. It's over. Fight's over. Fight is over. That's how I see it. So he wants it. He's calling it out, but I don't think they should. I don't think they should do it, man. I don't know. I don't think they should. But they're saying Colby Covington is getting he's getting his rematch next. That is the very next fight. I'm excited. I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily like Colby's chances in here. Usman seems to be on a whole new level, man. He seems to be on a level that I don't really see Colby coming close to at this point. I mean, yes, he's improved. He switched camps just like Usman, and he's improved his striking, but he also is not, he's definitely not knocking people out with one punch. We have not seen that happen from Colby. He's the volume guy. He's known to just touch you. He's pitter-patter, take you down, hold you up against the fence, pitter-patter, take you down, hold you, pitter-patter. That's what he does. He gets close to you, holds you like so that to neutralize your offense, and then he just pitter-pats and scores points. He just neutralizes, but he doesn't really he's not really fucking anybody up. It's not like, oh shit, Colby's in there like all over this man. That's usually not the case. So I don't like his chances in it, but it's gonna happen. I'm gonna watch it. So that's what's gonna happen. But all in all, though, with these crowds coming back, man, it definitely brought a whole new energy. Like, the first two ladies that were fighting, they were, like, right. Because I was saying, like, the crowd was there, and there were more people there than usual, and they were cheering right away. These ladies were going at it right away. There's no feeling out process. They went right to war, all right? Right to battle. It was a crazy fights. Like the first 4 fights were just fucking insane. Just nonstop energy. It was great fights. This is one of the greatest cards I've seen, but as I was saying, I definitely don't miss the booing. Don't miss the chanting of chanting USA whenever foreign fighters out there. That's pretty weird. I wish our fans were more like the Japanese fans, where they're pretty much silent until something happens. Like, if somebody gets a takedown, they'll clap. If the person who took that person down then transitions from, let's say I take you down and I take you down and I'm already into side control, they're gonna cheer, they're gonna clap and cheer for that. And then if I somehow transition into full mount, they're gonna fucking go, they're gonna clap, they're gonna fucking applaud, they're gonna love it. Yes, I'm doing martial arts successfully. They applaud the technique. That's what we should be more like. We should be more like that, and not booing people because they're grappling. Not booing people because they're feeling people out. The people who were trying to feel people out, like that abused each other for the first 2 rounds, and it's the third round, and they're fucking fucked up, and they're just feeling each other out, not trying to go crazy. They're getting booed because they're not going to war. And it's like, dude, please don't feel pressure, Herb Dean, to tell these men to recklessly come at each other. Please don't feel that pressure. Because it used to happen all the time with every ref. The crowd boos. And they stand them up. The crowd boos. And he's like, come on, fight. And it's like, yo, man, chill out. All right? Let these men fight their fight. Let these men fight their fight. But as I was saying, most of the night was fuck Jake Paul, man. And, man, he's somehow become, like, the biggest name in UFC somehow. I'm not even joking. The whole night was fuck Jake Paul. You got fucking Daniel Cormier. They got all the pictures of him getting into there's video. He got into his altercation with Jake Paul. He's got in his face like, yo, don't play with me. I will slap you right here. Like, all this shit. It's the whole audience. Majority audience just was fixated on Jake Paul. Everybody in here, but the one thing, Dana was saying that he faked. He's claiming that, because Jake Paul is saying that about 2 million people bought the pay-per-view with him and Ben Askren. And Dana White was saying pretty much he doesn't believe anything is real over there. He thinks everything that's going on, he was like, everything that he saw, pretty much he was saying what he saw with the Ben Askren fight looked real bizarre. He's like, he doesn't believe anything is legit over there. So in response, Jake Paul says, damn, I'm fucking reading a Jake Paul quote. This is where this podcast has gone. All right, I'm reading Jake Paul quotes. Here we go, you guys ready? It's a Jermaine event reading a Jake Paul quote. Dana, you claimed you would bet $1 million on me losing. Set up Askren to train with Freddie Roach. Gave him full access to the UFC Performance Institute. And he still got his ass handed to him. Seem like you're the real douche, not Ariel. In my third fight, I made more money in total pay than any fighter in UFC history. Maybe it's time to pay your fighters their fair share. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Yes, it's time. Yo, he was, fuck, man. Like, that's how I'm quoting it because he's saying some real shit here. He's saying some real shit. I've been saying this, it's just like the pay just doesn't make any sense for any fighter. And people just don't, like, when you got people like Derek Lewis who are just like, oh yeah, I'll fight for the $8 million. I'll fight for the $8 million. He's trying to fight for all of us. If he gets paid $30 million, then it naturally, like, positively affects everybody else here. But no, I'm gonna fight for the $8 million, so we can't do that. That's Derek Lewis. That's my impression of Derek Lewis. Please don't beat the shit out of me. Continuing on. No wonder they all want to get into boxing. Dana, you say you make the fights fans want to see. So hurry up and make Jones versus Ngannou. Pay them their fair share. $10 million purse for each guy plus pay-per-view. Why are UFC fighters so underpaid versus boxers? Why did I make more in my third fight than all but 2 Khabib and Conor UFC fighters have in history? I know why. Let's shots are fired, all right? he has become the most fucking, I don't know, man. He's the most talked about guy in UFC right now. And he's dropping these bombs, man. Like, fucking, it doesn't make any sense, man. Wasn't there a court case going on? There was something going on with, they were supposed to possibly have a union. There's a civil case and all this shit. But then I know with COVID, they were like, oh, everything's stalled. Everything's just stalled now. So maybe it'll never happen. I mean, I never really thought it was going to happen in the first place, but maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. I don't know. But somehow, man, Jake Paul has become one of the most talked about dudes. Like, they talk about him on the MMA websites all over, man. Like, it's like, you got half the fighters, and even like Dana, like, dude, yeah, you guys love to talk about this guy. He's really gotten your attention. I guess he really has. He's gotten our attention. But, you know, my suggestion is we send someone of equal size over there. You know, he fought at 191, so I think it would be only fair if, like, to end this whole thing, to just see if someone can fight him. Maybe he's just that good of a boxer. But someone of similar stature, he fought at 190, we'll send Israel Adesanya, who is the 185-pound champion. That's similar in size. Jake Paul's like, what, 6'1"? Israel's 6'4", and he fights at 185. That's a fair fight. Send Israel Adesanya in there to fight him. Israel is a boxer too. He boxed for what? He had like 10, 18 fights. He's like 10-0, 18-0. One of those. That sounds like a fair fight. You know? Send in Israel Adesanya. That's what I'd like to see. I really like to see it. Speaking of Israel Adesanya, I guess you can't send him in now. You can't send in Israel Adesanya because June 12th he will be fighting Marvin Vettori in a rematch. Finally, Vettori gets his rematch he's been calling for years. Israel said, I don't think he'll ever make it to the title. He's just not good enough. And about a year later, ladies and gentlemen, Marvin Vettori is there. He is good enough. But I don't think he's good enough to beat Israel Adesanya. I think Whitaker probably stands the best chance at beating Israel Adesanya at 185. I mean, we already just saw Israel lose to Jan Blachowicz. Do I think that Vettori can have similar success to Jan Blachowicz? I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. I think the stand-up. Vettori struggled in the stand-up against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland was like just rushing into things and like falling into strikes. You're struggling in the stand-up against that guy, and you want to fucking just somehow you feel like you're good enough to strike with Israel fucking Adesanya? I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. You saw him get taken down and held, and you feel like, oh yeah, I took him down in the third round, so I can take him down too. I fucking doubt it. We've all seen how good Israel is at defending the takedowns in the earlier rounds. His striking, his grappling, everything has gotten better. Yeah, Jan was able to take him down in the later rounds, but I think Israel will be able to put it on him early. Kevin Holland was able to hurt Vettori in the stand-up. Let's not forget that. Yeah, we remember that he took him down and dominated him in the grappling, but in the stand-up, he had him in, like, days. He had that man wobbled. Can Vettori survive this very much improves Israel Adesanya? I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. I'd like to see him try. I'm going to watch that fight, but I fucking doubt it. I don't think it's going to happen. In unfortunate news, Tyron Woodley, my nigga Tyron, has been released from the UFC. Well, I don't know about released. Well, he fought his last fight. His last fight was against Vicente Luque, and they've decided not to sign a new contract with him. So he wasn't necessarily released. He fought his contract out. And they've decided to, go in a different direction. I would personally not like to see him fight anywhere again. I mean, even the Jake Paul thing, as I'm saying, Jake Paul is bigger than all of them. He's bigger. He's much bigger than all of them. And yeah, Woodley is a better striker than Ben Askren. He's old and chinny in his old age. And I mean that with all due respect. But he's old and he's chinny. So I don't want him to fight Jake Paul because as a fan, please understand, I'm a fan of Woodley. And it'd break my heart to see him. It'd break my heart to see who was once considered one of the best welterweights of all time. They were comparing him to George St. Pierre. Go get knocked out by fucking Jake Paul. Do you know what they were comparing Ben Askren to at one point? George St. Pierre. And he went out there and he got knocked out by fucking Jake Paul. It broke my heart. Alright? And I don't want to see it happen again. I like the sport, These are my favorite fighters, man. And you guys are fucking... Do you know how much people have to what people have to do just to earn the right for years? You know how much it would change people's lives to fight, to be able to fight Ben Askren, to be able to fight a Tyron Woodley, and y'all are just gonna fucking sign up this fucking trash dude, man? Nah. Y'all need to chill out. Alright? Chill out. Man, I was gonna talk about, I got a lot more things in this thing here, but I realized I've been babbling for a little bit over an hour now, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the social medias. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name is Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow this podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. And if you guys are on Xbox, go ahead and add your brother. My gamer tag is SauceBoss414. If you're on Twitch, go ahead and add me at twitch.tv/Babylon5. I forgot to tell you niggas that my player in my career is fucking 99. I just remember niggas telling me there's not too many people who have a 99 overall player. And I was like, I got it fairly easy. And it's honestly, this game is too easy. It's too easy. So if you niggas is trying to game it up, I got 99 overall, baller ass player. Add a brother. If I didn't say twitch.tv/Babylon5, there you go. Go ahead to Teesprings, get that merchandise. Go to teespring.com/store/BOF-pod-shop. You guys can support the podcast. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5pod. You get this episode a day early. If you guys are on TikTok Anonymous, go ahead and add your brother at Babylon5 Podcasts. Once again, this has been your boy Jermaine Event. This is episode 88. Mr. Ouch, sending good vibes to Chris Weidman. This was an all UFC episode, and I like it. And I like it. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you when I see you. I'll holla.